Welcome, everybody, to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a weekly show where we tell you what is going on in the nerdy world. I am Brian Thornton. I am, of course, joined by Josh Burns and a surprise visit from CJ Mellon.
Hey, everybody, it's me.
Who just had his Gwen Stacy baby. That was terrible. It's funny because my notes say insert clever CJ joke here. And you're here.
But I just changed it to insert clever CJ is here joke.
Oh, well, here it is. Because you know what? I was worried that you wouldn't show up, not because of the baby, but because when we went to that science expo 2 weeks ago, you were complaining that something bit you and I didn't see you for a couple days. I was worried that you wouldn't be showing up.
Those capuchin monkeys, I'll tell you, they do not like to be trifled with when you take their bananas. But I am okay. I am in good health.
That is good to hear. Josh, are you happy to see CJ here?
I think it's a wondrous thing to have CJ with us for this evening.
I am obligated to tell you that this podcast is ad-free thanks to our supporters on Patreon. Support our show at patreon.com/thatkindofnerd. So let's start off this week with some TV/movie news. And I want to start with TV because apparently what we have been talking about for over a year. I want to say over a year ago, we were talking about the Assassin's Creed movie, and Josh was so poignant to say that this should be a television show and how great that would be.
Way better than a movie, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Josh, someone is listening because Netflix has announced that they are doing an Assassin's Creed animated series from the same guy who did the new Castlevania series that just launched on Netflix this past week. Gotten a lot of really great reviews. So what do you guys think of that?
It's halfway to the dream that we talked about, right? Josh was talking about having a live action thing where we can rotate out major stars, and it's easy to do that with voice work. But animated is a little different. I think, though, you can get away with a lot of jaw-dropping fight scenes and physics that don't make any sense because it's animated, which also means faster turnaround times. So it sounds cool. It's half of what we were promised. I'll definitely check it out, though. I think that's totally worth my time.
Less excited about animated series. Still excited that it's Assassin's Creed and what the potential is there, knowing that Netflix has a whole roster of stars that are willing to do really whatever.
Yeah.
So, that's good stuff.
But besides Castlevania, I honestly can't even tell you any other animated thing that
BoJack
Netflix has
Horseman
done.
is like super popular. So is F is for Family, and
they do some kids shows too, some kids animated stuff like Home and things like that. They do a ton of animated stuff. I will say this: I'm excited by the fact because I think the concept is an amazing concept. I think it works so much better as TV arcs, as Josh was so nice to point out to us. I think animated, as much as I wanted to see live action, I think it's the route to go because just like CJ said, you can get away with some really cool fight scenes, some things that would either A, cost a ton of money in stunt work, or B, just couldn't be feasible in, live action. You can do some really cool stuff in animation and get away with it because there's, that disbelief there. I'm excited. Definitely going to check it out. I still have to check out Castlevania. I've been hearing really great reviews, so I think it's going to be good.
While you fools are out there listening, I have only two other things to say. App-based gaming, always. And Aaron Paul Ghost Rider.
I was just about to say, can we get animated Aaron Paul Ghost Rider?
No. Don't animate it.
Oh, God.
We need him to flame out like in
we went scratching at the door and then him turning into...
I want all that shit.
All right.
If there's a scene of Aaron Paul actually scratching physically at a door, that would be amazing. Just to make fun of Nick Cage.
Scratching at the door.
That'd be fantastic. So in other TV news, everybody should know by this point that Game of Thrones did premiere yesterday on Sunday, its first episode of season 7. We will be covering it in That Kind of Nerd over here about a week late, so you guys are going to be able to have time to watch the episodes and kind of watch along with us as we commentate. But in that same vein, there's a Game of Thrones chat box that will actually help you catch up with everything that you might have forgotten from the first 6 seasons of Game of Thrones. And this is really good, I gotta say, for people like me who forgot who Longclaw was while I was talking to Josh
almost
yesterday.
Got crucified in a text thread. Like, Lloyd was seriously about to go hard on you. It was bad.
See, now, if I knew about this before we started recording, I could have gone onto the chat
site
where you... And I just would have gotten caught up on everything, which is fantastic. What do you guys think of this service, especially with a show like this?
Yeah, my wife and I were just talking about what were the last things that happened? What happened in the last season? And first off, if you stump the chatbot, it's hilarious. It goes, I don't know, but do you want to see pictures of Jon Snow as a teenager? And then it shows you random pictures of Kit Harington. It's really cool. It can give you some summaries. It can tell you who is this character, what does this person do, where is this at. I found it to be very helpful since I wanted to get prepped for Game of Thrones and how that was happening. And it's built inside of Facebook, so you got to use Facebook, but whatever. It's pretty funny. It's pretty active, pretty cool.
That's solid. I don't know that I would use it because I did what everyone should do and just rewatch season 6. I mean, that seems like that's the right thing to do, and I'm doing it right. I finished that last night, so I'm caught up, and I don't need a chatbot. But I think the chatbot's cool. But I'd rather everyone just rewatch season 6 like you should.
I feel you, Josh, but I mean, for me, there's just so much that I have to watch, need to watch. I'm currently trying to get caught up on. I don't have 10 hours to devote to a show that I've already seen once. So, I mean, I think this is a perfect kind of idea for people, especially since there's so long between seasons, especially for HBO shows. I think it's a great way to kind of catch up. More importantly, what I'm wondering is if you could do this with any other show, what would it be?
Before we get there, can I float the craziest Game of Thrones theory that a buddy of mine were talking about earlier?
Yeah, absolutely.
Jaime kills Cersei, episode 1.
Oh, wow.
She did what the Mad King threatened to do before he drove a sword through him, and now all his children are dead.
Yeah, I don't reject the premise of him doing that. I find episode 1 rough place to do it.
They've been building for 7 seasons, and since
I wouldn't put it past Game of Thrones.
Since when have they done anything expected?
Yeah, very true.
Very true.
So he's going out on a and look, half the reason I rewatched the last season was because I had to prep for my Game of Thrones draft.
Oh, is that happening again?
No, you didn't join. You got an invite, you didn't join.
I didn't even see the email. I'm sorry.
You bastard. So the league has grown to 12 owners, and it's my team is a team has no name.
So going back to the original question, if you could have a chatbot that could refresh everything that you might have forgotten, what show would you use this for?
West Wing.
Oh, no, because
West Wing?
There's the West Wing Weekly, and I mean what
I want is it to define like the law they're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Happening. And if not that, then Doctor Who.
You just need Schoolhouse Rock for that part.
Oh, that's a tough question.
Oh, Westworld. All of the shows. Do all of the shows. Can they do all the shows? I feel like Westworld was one of the toughest ones to keep track of.
I think Westworld would be a good idea, especially since we don't get a new season until 2018.
Right.
But see, that's the thing. There's only one season that has to recap. With Game of Thrones, it has like 6 that it needs to do. So it needs to have a whole wealth of knowledge.
And it's a pretty big universe.
Yeah, and things can get lost pretty quickly. So it's really about a show that's got a lot of characters, a lot of subplots going on to it, and a lot of seasons.
I'm not hearing any ideas.
I'm thinking like The Sopranos would be nice to have some refreshers as you kind of binge watch it.
Really?
No, not really.
It seems pretty easy.
No, you're right. I don't know, man. You stump me. I don't
Seinfeld?
know.
Can we use it for Seinfeld? That seems like it would work.
But what was last episode
Seinfeld's
about?
Not episodic.
What was last episode about? Nothing. The show is about nothing.
Yeah, but it's got all kinds of characters. It's pretty big. New York City's a big place.
I would honestly think movies. I think this would be great for like Lord of the Rings, because I watch Lord of the Rings and I still don't know.
So like Star Wars and the expanded universe.
Yeah, like movies.
Right.
I think this would be like something that's big's got a big universe.
So TV show, then Star Trek.
Yeah, maybe something for like the Marvel universe or something for the DC universe, stuff like that. Maybe a comic book one, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful. I think it would be helpful for the entire Berlanti verse. What if I could just catch up for Supergirl, Flash, Legends, and Arrow?
There
I
you
thought
go.
That would be a good idea.
No, you're so handsome and smart. Look at you,
I know,
double threat.
Right? I pose good questions and I have answers to those good questions.
I drink and I know things. So
Speaking of good questions, I was, trolling the interwebs, and this is in the realm of movies. I saw several articles that Disney is casting their live action remake of Aladdin, and they're having issues casting, especially the main character, especially Aladdin.
Never fear.
To which I said, you know what was really fun? That time me and Josh were at a bar and we decided to just cast random movies. So I wanted to ask Josh and CJ, cast this. So if you could cast Aladdin, the new live action remake that's supposed to be coming out, let me lay down some ground rules real quick for the listeners. This is truly about what actor you think is going to be best. It has nothing to do with any of the superficial stuff, but more importantly,
so we don't have to abide by ethnicity or worry about someone saying we're whitewashing.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear.
That's the biggest fear with a movie like this.
Okay.
And I'm my ground rule is
do not cut this. I don't care
as an actor. Okay,
it's about quality, right?
It's about quality as an actor. Who can perform the way you want them to perform in that movie. So we're sticking to the main characters. And by main characters, I mean Aladdin, Princess Jasmine, the Genie, Iago, and Jafar. Abu doesn't talk. The Sultan is fine, kind of ancillary. So those characters.
Also, I couldn't just cast it once. I did it twice, and I did it in a way that I thought would be sort of higher budget and slightly lower budget.
So let me do this real quick because I got thrown. I didn't know I was even coming on this episode. So this guy,
we're gonna do this one at a time, though.
We'll do it one at a time, and I'll tell you right now. I posed the question, and then I spent all day thinking about it. And everybody I thought of, I was like, well, yeah, they would be great like 10 years ago because they need to be young.
No. See,
I disagree with that. They don't have to be young.
You just said we could suspend that shit.
Okay. All right.
So I did a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit.
Touche, sir.
Okay. But they need to be able to sing, they need to be able to dance, and they need to be able to basically be those characters.
I think I nailed it.
I know I got a few. I'm pretty happy about it. All right.
I want to hear it, Josh. So let's hear one of your cast lists real quick.
Well, name the character.
So let's go with Aladdin. Let's just start right off the bat with the main character.
I will go high budget first and then low budget second.
Okay. All right. Who's your high budget Aladdin?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh,
okay.
Damn.
Yeah, he's definitely got the acting and singing chops and dancing
and scrappy sort of fighty street guy.
Right,
he's got that too. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Lower.
Well, what if I didn't have the kind of money? What's your low budget?
Logan Lerman.
Who?
Logan Lerman. He was Percy Jackson.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool.
CJ, have you thought of an Aladdin yet?
Yeah. So again, I had maybe 5 minutes to get ready for this.
You had excuses.
Skylar Astin. He's from Pitch Perfect, and he was from Glee.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it because of the singing. I hate it because I don't see him as a scrappy street kid.
I think you can rough him up a little bit.
I like him because he's so witty and so quick.
Yeah.
I was thinking long and hard, and Aladdin was the one I was having so much trouble with. I couldn't believe I didn't think of it at first. So there's the character who plays Liz's friend and morgue director in iZombie, and I'm drawing a blank on his real name.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah. I think he's funny enough. I'm not sure about his singing chops. His name is Rahul Kohli. I think he might be pretty good, but then I thought, well, maybe he's too old. And then the other thought I had was Rami Malek from Mr. Robot.
So you were incorporating ethnicity.
He was.
I was thinking all over the place.
Honestly, I just went, what would I want to see? And I don't disagree. Well, I don't know about the iZombie thing, but it seems way lower budge than any of the other choices.
It is.
Yeah.
Rami Malek, I'd probably be okay with as a selection, except he doesn't seem very charismatic. So,
I mean, have you seen Have you seen the Need for Speed movie?
No.
He's a completely different person than what you would see in the Mr. Robot.
He's actually an actor, and that's not him in the movie because I'm convinced that he's actually.
It's not him. He is indeed acting.
I'm convinced he's Mr. Robot.
So what about Princess Jasmine? Who? Let's start with Josh. Who do you got for Princess Jasmine?
High budget is Haley Steinfeld.
I actually love that choice.
Damn it!
In fact, I love that choice so much I'm making it my choice.
Low budget is Vanessa Hudgens.
That's
okay.
really good.
I love both of those choices.
Damn it, that's really good.
I'd be okay with either one.
Oh, CJ, this is my game.
Oh, I know it is. I'm out of my realm with this because here's the thing, and I've been binge watching.
Don't say Mila Kunis. Don't say Mila Kunis.
Oh no! I've been binge watching Royal Pains on Netflix, the old USA show, and the actress who plays Divya, she can actually sing really well, and she's pretty rebellious at times. Her name is Reshma Shetty. Happens to fit the other criteria, but I think she would actually carry the role pretty well.
Okay.
So I love both of your choices, but I did think of Priyanka Chopra, who is on Quantico and it was in Baywatch.
Oh yeah, I don't hate that choice either.
Every time I look at her, I kind of think Princess Jasmine.
You've set the bar.
I know.
Twice now, like super low. Why?
Because I should go first because my choices are kind of garbage.
I got to tell you, Jon Favreau would not be okay with any of this.
No. This is why I'm not in the movie business yet. I have to learn. I still have so much.
All
to
right,
learn.
who's next?
So next on the list, let's go with our main antagonist. Let's talk about Jafar. Who should be Jafar?
This is easy.
Ryan, you go first.
I thought Willem Dafoe right off the bat for some odd reason.
All right, fair enough.
I think he can
acceptable.
Do creepy.
CJ,
I am in. I'm invoking a little bit of time travel and Tim Curry.
Okay, you know what's funny is I immediately thought Tim Curry, and then I went, "That's a shit choice. I'll get a better one," and I got two. And I think here's the problem with this character: they're both high budget, but I could not decide. Okay. My first choice and immediate thought was Mahershala Ali, who played. He was in Moonlight, but in Luke Cage he was.
I have to change my window done.
Okay.
Oh, Cottonmouth. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And
Most
my
definitely.
second choice is Crumpty Bump Slapty Back.
I want to change mine to be Sir Ben Kingsley.
Oh
no.
Jafar doesn't sing.
I think he's a little too short. I think you'd have to put some stilts on him. But I think
that's no
Mahershala Ali or Benedict Cumberbatch. Pick one.
But is Benedict Cumberbatch going to mocap the scene where he turns into the big serpent genie thing? Because he loves to mocap.
I don't know. I can't tell you.
So
Benedict Slapperbatch. Gotcha.
Crumpty Bump Slapty Back.
Let's do our last two. Let's talk about the obviously they're going to be voices because these characters would be CGI in a live action film. Let's start with the genie.
I nailed this.
Who was played by the late great Robin Williams. I don't know how you could ever replace him.
I nailed it.
I didn't. I recast, but I didn't. Go ahead. I want to hear this because I
want to hear Josh's because I'm not gonna lie. I don't have anybody. I couldn't think of anybody better.
Please.
So who do you got, Josh?
High budget Neil Patrick Harris. Low budget Brad Garrett.
I had Russell Peters.
I hate that.
Yeah, I just hate Russell Peters. That's my only thing with it.
Somebody gonna get hurt real bad.
Just saying.
No.
That's all I had.
All right, and finally, we'll talk a little bit about Iago, Jafar's sidekick and talking parrot. I will go first because I don't care if this is supposed to be new. You have to have Gilbert Gottfried, no matter what. He's got a voice.
I disagree.
Again.
I went with John Mulaney because
the comedian.
Yeah, he would be perfect.
Yeah, I don't like him at all. Because I watched his Netflix special and I hated it.
Oh, I think he's great.
I had high budget Chris Rock, low budget Chris Tucker.
Low budget, by the way. I like Chris Tucker's in low budget because that's where he belongs.
Well, look, I'm just saying crazy voices in this generation, Chris Rock, Chris Tucker, I couldn't think of anybody like other than Eddie Murphy, but then I thought that's not really this generation. So Chris Rock, Chris Tucker, I've recast it twice. It got studios, you could pay a lot or way less. Either way, here's your cast.
I can now understand why Disney and anyone else is having such a hard time casting these roles.
Because I had a difficult time doing it too.
It's rough. And honestly, the genie, holy crap. I mean, you got to go to your Broadway cast and you've got to just pull that unknown kid who's been doing it for a while and just put them on the stage because you can't pull in a star. That star's going to crumble under that pressure.
My first thought was Nathan Lane. And then I went,
nah.
Probably not quite young enough, and then I immediately went to Neil Patrick Harris because he can do all that.
Yeah.
In a way that's relatable and funny.
Yeah.
Look, nobody's ever going to be Robin Williams.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Nobody ever. Not ever in any
How
role
about this?
ever.
Don't change any dialogue from Robin Williams.
Just use all the cans out that dialogue, yeah.
Right.
They still have, like, I'm sure, cut audio and stuff they could use for that, too.
Oh, yeah.
And the only other guy I could think of for that role is The Rock, but...
That's what I said, and Jenny was like, nope.
He doesn't do all the voices, so you can't do that.
Yeah. Well, that was my fun little game of Cast This. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Brian just made a segment.
We're going to do that again.
I did just make a segment. Honestly, if you know of a movie that is coming out or even a movie from the past that you want us to cast, feel free to reach out to us via Facebook, Twitter. Josh and I love doing this stuff, so we'll have no problem doing that every week.
I'm terrible at this.
Over a drink or two.
Exactly. But now it's that time of the show where we talk about the world of comics and how it's affecting TV and movies, but apparently most importantly, how it's affecting me. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Cape Talk.
All right, this is your spoiler alert. We are going to be discussing Spider-Man Homecoming, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, first off, shame on you. Secondly, go to our show notes and you can find our timestamp so you can head and just skip past this discussion. It's going to be spoiler-ridden.
Let's talk about Spider-Man Homecoming. Just right off the bat, CJ just saw it. I've seen it a couple times. Josh saw it with me. It was glorious. I could talk about this movie for an hour and a half by myself.
The
only thing I will say before I get what you two fine gentlemen's opinion was I walked into work the next day and everybody was asking me how it was. And one person looked at me and said, "You're oddly quiet. I'm a little worried about this movie." And I realized at that moment that I was keeping it in because I had to talk about it at the podcast. In my brain, CJ put the gag order on me.
A gag order in your actual
he didn't even
life.
say anything. It just happened.
So
that upset me a little bit. But that being said, I want to hear what you guys think about it before I start to just nerd rage all over how much I love this movie. Go.
Best Spider-Man ever. Best Spider-Man ever.
One of the best comic book movies ever. I mean, I'm even going back to like classic Reeve Superman better than.
Okay. I mean, it's the best. It is one of the best of the current run, even though it's not, necessarily Marvel. It's Sony. But it's up there with all the new Marvel stuff.
So I want to remark on that real quick. I want you to look at how much time the Sony logo, right, and stuff came on the screen. It was like half a minute, right? And then Marvel, right, their whole title sequence is like 8 hours long.
It was awesome. That title sequence was the best Marvel sequence I've ever seen. And
then it had the Spider-Man theme. This movie
Brian chuckled like an idiot. He did. As soon as he realized the song that was playing, he went like an idiot.
I got to tell you, here's the thing. Bottom line is, it wasn't a paint by numbers superhero movie. It didn't include all of the stuff that we've seen a million times within Spider-Man in a good way. And it also made sure that you were able to basically meet Peter for the first time, but know a lot about him. And I love the fact that it says a film by Peter Parker at the top, and then you get that like cell phone footage.
That was cool.
It just really gave you the idea that who this guy is. And my big takeaways are this. It is one of the first times that we've had a perfect balance, in my opinion, of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, having them both represented in the correct way by the same actor. It doesn't happen very often. Every year we say, oh, it is, and then we look back at it on time, and then we nitpick it. The other part was the action was really cool because it wasn't a lot of punching people in the face. It was a lot of dealing with the situation, using your smarts. He only fought the bank robber, a little bit of Shocker, and then the Vulture, but I didn't see him like punch a lot. It was a lot of using your brain, using the web shooters, getting creative, and avoiding hand-to-hand combat because that's not maybe his skill set. The humor was right on point, and then I literally was shaking and had to be restrained when we saw what I presume and safely assume is the Iron Spider at the end of the movie, I'm literally like shaking in my seat, and I audibly squeed. It was I had been I was so frazzled and taken away by it. I couldn't even deal.
So, initial thoughts, right from the very beginning, I was blown away, and not because anything was particularly stunning, but I thought they did it well, right? No origin story, which we don't need. No Uncle Ben, we don't need it. We get
great
it.
Power, great
right?
responsibility.
Right. None of that, because we got it. We get it. We understand it. We don't need any more of it. But I think you said the balance. I thought this movie was incredibly thoughtfully made. And the balance achieved by the goofiness and the sort of playfulness and all of what that was. But no lack for action, no lack for struggle, no lack for a demonstration of strength and will, and no lack for a lesson learned as well, which is awesome.
The twist for me when it comes to the story, the twist about Michael Keaton being the dad,
that was unexpected.
Unexpected, and probably one of the best scenes in any superhero movie in a very long time.
My God.
So
I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. It just came to my head.
No. But before we go on, it's super late, and my children walked into the room. Do you guys mind if we get?
Oh no, I want the little Burns reactions.
Very interested in hearing, because I sat next to them in the theater, but I didn't get to talk to them a bunch.
Brian did sit next to them in the theater and only got sort of the walk to the car recap. What do you think? So we'll do Zoe's reaction first, and I'm going to give her the headphones so she'll hear everything you're saying. So CJ, stop cursing.
Oh, man.
and you talk to Zoe, and then I'll give you to Christian. Okay.
All right. Let's hear it. Let's do it.
Here's Zoe.
Hi, my name is Zoe. I'm 7. I think Wonder Woman was better.
Oh, really?
All right. And you thought Wonder Woman was better than Spider-Man?
Yes.
Why? Why did you think Wonder Woman was better?
Because she did more fighting.
She did more fighting. That's what I said too. Not a whole lot of like punching people in the face, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a very valid reason, Zoe. I can appreciate that.
Okay,
anything
we're
else
going
you
to give
want to
the
add
mic
about
to your
the movie?
brother.
What?
Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Goodbye,
Is there
Zoe.
anything else you wanted to say?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Hand the headphones to Christian.
All right, dude. Get in there.
Christian Burns.
Right here.
Christian Burns, hello.
Hello. I'm Christian Burns and I'm 9.
All right, Christian Burns. What did you think of the new Spider-Man movie?
I think it was way better than Wonder Woman.
Anything else?
Yes, and it was way funnier and more action-packed.
Awesome.
What was your favorite part? Hey, look at this.
My favorite part was when they were at the academic declamation and Peter saved them from getting crushed to their doom in an elevator.
In the elevator
That was
scene.
great. Christian, I have one more question for you.
Yes?
Because you very thoughtfully put together a response to the trailer, and you were very upset that Iron Man made him give up the suit. How did you feel about that when it happened in the movie?
I found that Iron Man had reason to take it away, but when I just saw the trailer, it just looked like Peter did something wrong, and Iron Man just wrongfully took the suit.
Your other concern too was the Vulture, right? Being very mechanical and all that. So what did you think about him now that you saw him in the movie?
Still same about the Vulture because he's bald and he's wearing a green suit and everything else.
All right, let me ask you one follow-up question. Did you stay all the way to the end of the credits, right? And see the after?
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you think of the fact that we're going to see the Scorpion in the next movie, probably?
Yeah, I think that'll be awesome.
All right. Ryan, anything on your end?
Thank you very much, Christian. I don't have any more questions. That was fantastic.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. We appreciate it. You're always welcome on the show, okay?
You're welcome.
Was there any other thoughts that we wanted to share? Now that we got the truly important opinion, before I go into
I do
my
have one
opinion,
thing.
What else did you guys want to say about this?
What about the reveal of MJ at the end of the movie?
It's not MJ. It's not Mary Jane Watson.
It's not Mary Jane. Kevin Feige's actually been very clear, and even after the fact said, not Mary Jane Watson.
Right.
It's just kind of a nice homage, a nice little Easter egg for those who are fans, but she is her own character. She is Michelle.
Right. So here's my question, though. She's, my friends call me MJ, and we're tipping the hat that way. Are we actually going to see Mary Jane Watson?
Well, who cares?
I'm just curious. Because I'm curious what else in canon is going to change, which I'm fine with. I'm okay with a different story.
If you really want to talk about canon,
we changed a lot of things.
This is my turn to talk. My turn to talk.
Go for it.
As the true Spider-Man fan, I don't care that you named your kid Gwen Stacy. So, if you really want to talk about canon, Mary Jane as a character does not show up until Peter is in college.
Mm-hmm. College, right?
So we're talking about high school Peter Parker. His love interests in high school were,
maybe
Liz
he
Allen.
falls for Mary Jane Watson more because his first love was this Michelle whatever.
Right. And here's the thing. In the comic book, the reason Mary Jane and Peter become so close and eventually married is due to Gwen Stacy's death. Because Mary Jane was Gwen Stacy's best friend, and obviously Gwen Stacy, love of Peter's life. So who knows what they're going to do with it. I saw it coming, if we're just going to talk about that reveal. I saw it coming, not just because the character's name is Michelle. Right before that scene where she says, my friends call me MJ, their mascot runs past, and it's a tiger.
Tiger. He was in there
was
several times.
Oh, this is coming. It's going to come up. That being said, I am going to write one line in the sequel, one scene in the sequel. Peter needs to be the new mascot, and she needs to call him Tiger jokingly. Just throw that out there.
So Zendaya, she's in like a couple of the shows my kids watch, and they're all terrible.
She's going to be that new Hugh Jackman movie too.
It's not their shows are really bad. Casey Undercover is particularly bad, but all the shows, right, that she's in are really bad.
She was really good.
She was really good. She was really good, and I was immediately sold on having her back.
She was a good addition to the humor too. I mean, she brought it.
I thought the use of Iron Man was fantastic. Just a guy to sort of pick you up when you fall, and really not a whole lot more. Right? Just not there until you absolutely need him when you thought you were on your own.
Physically not there sometimes too.
Right, but all of it, I was just impressed by the thoughtfulness throughout the movie. It was just very well done. I was thrilled with it. I'm praying the sequel isn't total shit like basically every other Spider-Man sequel.
I like Spider-Man 2.
Nope.
I like
it. That's a discussion for another time. That being said, Josh saw it with me. He heard me laugh like an idiot and giggle and squee and gasped. And I was just on the edge of my seat the entire movie. I was so happy. There were no words to describe how happy I was. The only way I've ever been happier in a movie theater is when I first saw the first Spider-Man 2002 sitting next to my dad with Tobey Maguire. That was probably the happiest I've ever been in a movie theater. This brought all those feelings back.
But it was better.
I like the little nod that they have where he's making the web, the new web serum, right? The new webbing, and it says webbing 3.0. And I'm like, it's the third Spider-Man, the reboot 3.0. This is clever.
There is a ton of Easter eggs that you may only catch after the second or third viewing. And you are welcome, people. I watched it that many times. I know all of the Easter eggs. I don't think we have time to get into it here, but obviously there were some, nods to Scorpion being in the new movie. There was nods to famous comic book covers. That scene with him at the end, underneath the rubble, is ripped from a Steve Ditko cover, and it was awesome. The one Easter egg I do want to talk about is Donald Glover's character, Alan Davis. When we first meet him, he's trying to buy some weapons off of the Vulture. His ears perk up when the guy said...
I thought he was going to buy surveillance equipment, and they were showing him weapons.
He literally says, "I just need a gun.
Okay,
I don't need any of this crazy stuff,
this fancy shit.
I don't need to send somebody back in time."
The funny thing is, after he says that line, this guy is like, "Well, we got this and that," and then he's like, "And then we got some climbing gear," and he goes, "Wait, what?" Alan Davis in the comic book is a character named Prowler, who is a bank robber who uses climbing gear to kind of get into like really difficult to reach situations and things like that. But here's the coolest part about that. In the scene where Peter is interrogating him, trying to find out where the vulture's going to be, which is a hilarious scene, a fantastic scene on Tom Holland's part. Donald Glover, it says, hey, I don't want this stuff out on the streets. I got a nephew who lives here. That nephew is Miles Morales. So the really cool part is that we're setting up an idea that this is a big expansive universe with new different characters. We might possibly see Miles Morales, probably not in these next 3 movies, but maybe in a 4th or 5th movie, we'll have a Miles Morales Spider-Man.
As much Spider-Man as you can give me is all the Spider-Man I can.
Yeah, keep going forever.
All the Spider-Man, all the time.
Other than that, I absolutely agree with everything you guys say. I thought it was funny. I thought right from the get-go where you're just seeing Peter like document his trip to Berlin. And like he's like in the corner, he's like, okay, there's Iron Man and there's Captain America.
Awesome.
Like, who is that guy? Who's that guy? And then you hear him say Underoos. It's like, oh crap, I gotta go. Like it's just everything.
Guys, he's big now.
He's big now. I gotta go.
Oh gosh, he's big. Just everything you wanted to see out of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Just the sheer joy of being Spider-Man and how cool that would be, especially when you're a 15-year-old kid. I loved every minute of it. I do want to say Michael Keaton as the Vulture. Probably one of the best villains we've seen in a Marvel movie besides Loki. He was a guy who, the story did so much justice to him by giving him a motivation that you understood. Like you kind of rooted for him at one point.
Yeah.
Just knowing what he's trying to accomplish. The guy's just trying to provide for his family. He's been constantly kicked down by, people higher up and he's trying to get back what's his.
What's funny is I wasn't rooting for him until we found out he was the girl's father.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, I kind of wish he gets away.
I want to go back to that scene because that is, like I said before, that's one of the best scenes.
He opens the door and you're like, holy shit,
Jenny and
what's
I
happening?
literally had jaw drop and went, what? Like we were completely caught off guard.
He's the Vulture and Peter knows he's the Vulture, but Vulture doesn't know what's going on. And that first half of that scene is Peter trying to play it cool, but he's like constantly looking at him out of the corner of his eye while they're taking pictures and stuff. He's got the knife in his hand and you're thinking he's doing the normal dad stuff that you guys will do with your daughters when they're getting picked up for homecoming. But in that car ride down, like Keaton's performance is absolutely amazing where you see him turn from this father who's just being protective of his daughter, realizing that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. You see this switch flip.
Yeah.
And when he parks and he does the talk with him and he's, starts off by first saying, does she know? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, oh, good. Well, that means she doesn't. And then proceeds to just be terrifying. Like, I will kill you and everybody you love. I don't care who you are. I will downright murder you if you get in my way. It was an amazing scene. And the tension was just so palpable. It was amazing.
It was awesome.
Like I said, I could probably talk about this for another hour and a half. So I'm going to stop there. If you really want to know some of my true feelings and really inner workings of the fact that I've seen it multiple times and have started to pick it apart as much as I can, by all means, reach out to us. I'll be happy to talk to you about it. More importantly, is there any last minute thoughts that you guys want to come up with before we move on?
Nope.
Perfect. All right. So in other Marvel news, Netflix has cast 2 new characters for the 2nd season of Luke Cage. So the first up is a vigilante / hero. They've cast Nightshade, who is currently Nighthawk right now, being played by Tilda Johnson.
Yep.
So first off, let's start with that. Does anybody first off know who Nightshade is and who that character is?
No idea.
Does anybody know who Tilda Johnson is?
Nope.
Okay. So
here's what I like to know. Well, just like, who is this person? Why are they important?
I mean, I don't want to say they're important or who they. I mean, really, they're a very Punisher-esque character. Have some run-ins with Luke Cage every once in a while. I think it's going to be an interesting dynamic, just like in season 2 of Daredevil, where you had Punisher and Daredevil squaring off. And it was interesting because Daredevil was like riding the line and Punisher was, this is what you'll become. I think it's going to be an interesting dynamic because Nightshade is going to be that very, well, I'll do whatever it takes to protect the city. But Luke Cage is the exact opposite. He wants to be very, true and hopeful and doesn't ever consider crossing that line, unlike Daredevil. I think it's going to be a very interesting dynamic. I was wondering if you guys thought anything I said was just bullcrap or if you guys agree with me.
Listen, anything that can bring a little more grit and violence to Luke Cage would be greatly appreciated, considering that the guy is physically bulletproof. It's nice to up the stakes. So if we have a character who's able to do that, let's bring him on and let's add some more drama to the show.
Yeah, but that's not that character isn't a villain though. Not necessarily. Again, like Brian said, like the Punisher, right, is not necessarily a villain. An anti-hero is not a villain.
I want a character that I can care about getting hurt and getting broken and killed. And Luke is that safe guy where that's very hard to happen.
Where the other one they cast was what they're calling it, Bushmaster.
Yeah, the villain Bushmaster, being played by Mustafa Shakir from The Night Of.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I feel about with Luke Cage and any of his villains is because of that I'm unbreakable, I'm unhurtable thing. It's so hard to, feel like there's anybody who can really do anything to him. I think they did a really good job with Diamondback and Cottonmouth last season. So I'm interested to see what they do with Bushmaster. Nothing really special about him. It's probably going to be another crime lord, like drug ring-esque story, but I'm sure they'll take it in a different direction. And I'm interested to see where it goes. There's one other casting news as far as Netflix shows that I do want to mention. It's pretty recent. I don't know if you guys saw, but Jessica Jones season 2 added a character. We know who the actress is. We're not really sure who she's playing, but there's definitely some rumors. I wanted to see if you guys had some thoughts. They cast Leah Gibson in a role in the new season of Jessica Jones. And the rumors is that she's going to be Typhoid Mary.
Oh, shit. Really?
Which I found interesting because Typhoid Mary is primarily a Daredevil character.
Yep.
But I think it would be really interesting in Jessica Jones.
The Netflix Marvel universe is generally a Daredevil universe. So I'm fine with that. And I'm fine with Daredevil sort of characters and crossovers and villains pervading that whole universe.
Yeah, I mean, I am too. I also think that, probably a smart call. But CJ, what are your thoughts?
I don't know the character of that world enough, so I'm kind of the fish out of water who's just gonna have to watch it and kind of give you a reaction once it happens.
I think it's a smart call just because Jessica Jones doesn't have the rogues gallery or the dearth of villains that some of these other characters have. I think she fits well.
And I'm sorry, Jessica Jones season 2 happens after Defenders, right?
Yes. Well, so Luke Cage season 2 as well.
Right. So I mean, some of the things that we could see in Defenders can kind of help with bridging this gap and kind of making it a more Daredevil centric universe. So I'm cool with that. I'm not borrow each other's villains. I mean, you're all in the same neighborhood practically. Like you're in a few couple blocks.
In the same 4 blocks.
So Hell's Kitchen is very small.
Just go ahead and do it. That's fine.
Typhoid Mary can only be in this block. Punisher primarily does the 2 blocks below it.
I'm sorry, I don't travel above that street. That is below me.
If they're chasing a villain and they get to 42nd Street, they're like, wait, no. I can't.
Not my jurisdiction. I'm so sorry.
Not my jurisdiction. I can't go any further.
It's like Drag Race.
I can't cross over Broadway at all.
No, but I wanted to mention them. I'm so excited for anything Netflix Marvel puts out. I'll even be excited for Iron Fist season 2 when it comes out. But, I figured we were talking about Marvel and Spider-Man, how great that universe is. I'm just looking forward to a Daredevil season 3, Jessica Jones season 2. I think those are going to be amazing. I think the Punisher is actually slated to have its own show released later this year. So I think this is an ever-expanding universe. It's going to be really cool to watch it grow.
Super exciting.
So, CJ, you are here, and you tend to like to search the internet for weird topics and issues for us, correct?
Yeah, and I would love to get your tech perspective on a few topics this week. That's not the theme song. Is that why you introed me? There's no theme song.
Yeah, that is. I was really worried before we started recording. I was thinking, how am I going to introduce Tech Perspective and still do my theme song? And then I was like, oh my gosh, CJ can get on. I can do the theme song.
So, Josh, sports is very much part of your nerdy life, right? It's part of who you are as a nerd within our group. So ESPN is branching out to help other nerds like you, right? To kind of get some new avenues to explore within this nerdy world. And they have introduced drone racing leagues that are currently on ESPN right now.
Listen, let me be super clear about this. Essentially, what this is Ender's Game training. Right? Drone racing is another way of saying naval aviation.
Right.
You are able to fly unmanned vehicles strategically at high speeds and execute tactics. This is not a sport. This is warfare.
Are you saying they're going to recruit some of these people like Last Fight Starfighter style to?
I'm not even
operate drones?
That thought is not even like that's the very beginning of it. Like,
okay.
I'm not thinking, Brian. I'm not thinking this is we're going to recruit the best. I think this is a sport created to find UAV drivers.
That right there is the plot to Ernest Cline's Armada, and that's exactly what I thought too when I heard about this. Like, oh, these are the people. This is how you find the people who can do this, and then just bring them into the military.
Yeah, this isn't like, oh, we'll take the winner and proposition.
No. It's like, we're going to
put people right. We need to know who the best is, so let's create a whole sport. You think for a second, do you really think for a second that drones organically became a part of Americana? It's not a fucking mistake, people.
Put on your tinfoil hats, people. We're going
seriously.
There.
All these kids, and here's the thing. There are two things that happen with most drones. You open them out of the box, and they're immediately lost in a tree. Right. Those two things happen, except for the 1%, right? That can control it regardless of the wind conditions. They just know what they're doing, and you're like, this 4-year-old is going to destroy a nation.
Well, that was like that 15-year-old kid or 12-year-old kid who won that contest in Dubai.
And there's a guy in the corner, you can barely see him. He's 3 houses over, but he's there with a monocle smoking a cigarette. I'm telling you. This is what's happening, right? But now we're putting on an ESPN. This is an awful idea.
So I had two thoughts. The moment I read this, I had two thoughts. And the first one was, this feels like something that should be on ESPN The Ocho.
The Ocho for sure.
It's on ESPN 2 and ESPN 1.
Secondly, I was curious when the Fast and Furious Drone League movie would be coming out.
Never.
That's what I was thinking.
Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a meter. Winning is winning.
Those dudes get attacked by drones. They don't fly them. Because like Tej said in the last one, for those of us who like to get a bit more hands-on, right? They don't do unmanned vehicles. They get in them.
I didn't say it had to star Vin Diesel. I'm thinking more like Jay Baruchel.
You just do the spin-off.
How to Train Your Dragon, but drones? How to Train Your Drones.
That's right there. I would love to see that. Listen, it's going to be on ESPN2 and ESPN until July 28th are the finals, the final eliminations in London, apparently. So if you're interested in seeing some drone racing, which I just think is a really weird concept.
I hope they integrate this into ESPN. The Kingsman 2.
Oh, dude.
Because actually showing how the new recruits have to win this drone thing.
Do you have to shoot your dog at the end of it?
Yes.
Okay. You have to shoot your drone.
Dog.
Yeah,
drone dog.
Drone dog. Right. You shoot your drone dog. More importantly, for those of you looking for something to watch until July 28th, just continue watching baseball. It's been excellent.
Or just go see Spider-Man Homecoming.
A bunch of times. I got to see it again.
Maybe twice in one night. When you go see it again, call me. I'm still not at my quota of 6.
You got it.
Brian Evelyn Thornton.
CJ Thaddeus Mellon.
Oh, Thaddeus. I like Thaddeus. You are a guy who likes to play tabletop games and games with friends, right?
Oh, yes. I claim that I have friends that I sometimes play these tabletop games with. Yes.
These are just your servants these are people you hire to come to the play show state, right?
I'm pretty sure my mom still pays people to be my friends. So my mom's cutting the check.
Still, which implies that she did at one point.
Oh, most certainly. I didn't have any friends.
Wait, hold on, Josh. You don't get your monthly check? You need to
listen.
You need to talk to Mom Thornton if you haven't gotten your check.
I would pay to keep Brian in my life. So no, I don't. I require no.
He gets the checks. He mails them back. Return to sender.
You've never cashed a check? Not one. So Hasbro is actually launching a subscription service for games. It's $49.99 per crate. You get 2 options, and it's basically new games as well as some familiar games, some for parties. A lot of people are moving on to subscription services. Josh talked about Amazon Wardrobe last week, and everybody else who's doing these kind of things. What do you think about the fact that you can get games delivered to your door in a box?
I think, and not being a sort of regular like game night. I don't have I've never had a game night with friends. My friends don't really do that. I grew up playing games, but
Josh, next game night, you're invited.
Well, invite me.
I have a weekly game night.
I don't see. That's the thing is I don't understand how these work. But I think that if I'm part of a group that enjoys game night, having a different crate of games shipped to my house monthly would be about the most badass thing ever.
Well, hold on. So it's every 3 months.
Whatever, dude. Any amount of time, you got to play a bunch of games a bunch of times.
So let me clarify. Like CJ said, it is every 3 months you get 3 games shipped to you, and you have 2 choices. You have pretty much like kid-friendly, family-style stuff, and you have more like party games for adults. Like you know that game where you put the stupid thing in your mouth and you try to say whatever's on the card.
My kids got me that for Father's Day, and that's based on one of my favorite YouTube follows, Joe Santagato. He created that game, and it's so good.
Apparently, one of the games you get in this is an NSFW version of this game. So you probably have to say some pretty nasty stuff, like, Eleanor Ripley's Gaping Chasm with that thing in your mouth. So here's the thing. I love the idea. As a concept, I'm like, yes, I'm on board because I'm constantly searching for new games. I have a couple tubs worth of games just sitting in crates for like game night that we, break out. And we're like, I pull out 40 or 50 games. I'm like, okay, which game are we going to play? And then we have to decide. So having something come, even once every 3 months would be really cool.
How often do you play the Cones of Dunshire?
I play the Cones. I try to play the Cones of Dunshire once a month. It's extremely difficult. I have yet to win. And for those of you who are thinking of orchestrating a game night, let me give you some solid advice. Do not be the game master, as they call them, the one who orchestrates it and buys the games and teaches everybody how to play the games. You will lose every single game you purchase. That has been my experience. I get all of these games. I never get to win. It's very upsetting.
Maybe you're just a bad gamer.
No, it's not that. It's just that I have shit luck. It's always like it always comes down to a random dice roll, and I just lose it all. It's terrible.
I don't like playing games of chance like that.
So, here's the thing: a lot of the games that we play,
I prefer strategy.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of these games we play are strategy based. They're extremely strategic, and that's my problem with this box. This box is primarily geared towards if you don't have a family. Party games like, group trivia games and things like, put this shit in your mouth and say this phrase. I'm not a huge fan of those types of games. I think they're enjoyable maybe once or twice. I'm all about the strategy stuff, and I would name games, but you wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But normally I'm more strategic based. And when I read about this Hasbro subscription, I didn't get that was the kind of the games you would be getting. I did read there's one, and I don't know which crate it's in, and it seems really interesting, that integrates a board game with a virtual reality phone app, which is pretty cool. So I almost purchased it just to try and get that game, because that seemed like pretty decent, because it gives you a little headset. You load up the app on your phone, and you're in this pyramid or this temple, and you need to describe everything you're seeing to the other players so that they can try and advance you room to room on the board. Seems pretty interesting. So I may still sign up for this, hopefully to get that. So my point is, if there was a box that had something more strategic in it, I'd be all over this, because I watch a bunch of YouTube videos about gaming. I go on Kickstarter and I kickstarted a couple games to try and get some new, fresh stuff. Because as much as I love the games that I have, sometimes, when you're doing it week to week, they get old and you're like, I don't feel like playing that. You're trying to find something new. And this is perfect. If they had something, a little bit different, I would totally be all over this.
All right. So it's got promise, but, not necessarily all of us throwing down money.
I'll tell you what, right now, I'll go to the site. I'll sign up for the first box, and I'll let you know what I think.
All right, that's good. Brian and Josh, every week we do a segment now. It's called the Nerd Degree. It's where that kind of nerd gives a topic, a product, a movie, the third degree, an inquisition of sorts, and we tell you if it passes or if it fails. So, this week's Nerd Degree comes in with an Indiegogo campaign for a smart wallet that has a built-in camera for catching thieves. Before we get into the product itself, did you guys watch the video explaining what this is?
Yeah, I mean,
how did you not want to punch everybody in the face?
It's way more than a smart wallet with a camera. Like it has
a charger
for your phone. It's got RAM.
Everything. It's got mobile hotspot. It's got
GPS locator. It even comes with a boat, I hear.
It's a lot of things, man. It's called the Vulture Man.
When you look at it, you realize it can hold essentially 3 credit cards and $2.
Yeah,
I'm like, look, I don't have a George Costanza wallet, but I have a wallet, and I need to carry things. I gotta drive a car.
Sorry, that's my fault, guys. It's my fault.
Hey,
no, it's totally relevant.
Got a wallet.
Drive a car.
Drive a car.
Back on track.
So,
hey, Steve, we're gonna eat a dolphin.
No, we're not.
We're gonna go pet a dolphin. Another one of Michael Keaton's greatest performances ever.
It really is. I like the wallet. I like the charging capability. I don't like its storage capacity, and I understand that because of all the other things, it has to sacrifice storage capacity. I don't need a camera because my wallet is never out of my back pocket except for when I take it out to use it, and then I put it directly back in my back pocket. So it's not a problem.
Here's the thing for me. I mean, I bought a really slim USB phone charger, right? It's 2500 milliamps, so it's enough to charge my phone.
Not quite enough, but yes.
Yeah, enough to charge it, right? Not full charge, right? But it's enough to get me back into a place where I'm a little desperate, get the low battery indicator, right? And just plug it in and get back to out of that. I can get a Tile Slim for $30 and put that into a normal size wallet that can hold more cards. And I don't need a mobile hotspot. That's what my phone is for.
Are you
what the battery
losing
pack
your
is
wallet?
For.
Are you really losing your wallet?
Oh, dude, all the time.
Are you serious?
I don't understand that.
Do you not?
Are you an adult?
Me?
Do you know how to adult?
No, I don't know how to adult. I'm just a father of two children, but I do not know how to adult. I lose my wallet.
Are you
in the
seriously
couch,
losing your
in
fucking
the room,
wallet?
I lose my wallet all the time.
Who doesn't come into their house and put their wallet in the same spot every
day?
Me. I lose my wallet all the time.
You and my wife are the only people I know who can lose the same shit every fucking day.
So here's the deal.
My wife, with her keys and her badge for work.
Yeah, me too.
They're in two different places every day.
Every day.
And you never know where.
Every day.
Like,
same thing.
How'd that end up under the Christmas tree? How did that end up there? I don't know. But I must have put it there when I came home. Because that's the most logical place that it seemed that I could put it when I came in the door.
Here's the issue.
That's what happened, CJ.
$5 for the little thin mobile charger, $30 for a tile, maybe $20 for a wallet. I have a fundamental problem with spending money for something to hold my money, but we'll get past that. The Vulture Man is $139.
Wait. Did you just say you have trouble spending money on something that holds your money?
Oh yeah, I have real issues with buying a wallet.
I have like a ridiculous expensive wallet.
Yeah, no, that makes no fucking sense to me.
I have a ridiculous expensive
The fact that you have to empty your wallet to buy a new wallet is maddening.
No. How old is your wallet?
2 years.
And what does it look like?
Looks actually pretty good. Do you want me to show it to you? I can't because I don't know where it is.
If it makes noise when you open it, I don't want to hear
It's got a money clip
clip
on it, so.
Here's the thing. I have a ridiculous expensive to me ballistic nylon wallet that I've had for now 3+ years, and it looks like it's brand new. It doesn't wear at all, and it's perfect. That's why I spend money on a wallet, because I want it to look good as well as feel good and hold up. It does that. I don't need all this bullshit, and now that I know that you constantly lose your fucking wallet, I'm vetoing this nerd degree. I'm giving it my score, about it, not about it. It's a -5.
Brian, do any of these features look redeeming to you?
No, they're absolutely stupid and terrible, because I'm right with Josh. I don't understand how anybody can lose a wallet. I really don't. If I'm in a public place and someone brushes my shoulder, I do the quick check, like, okay, just making sure. If I'm like walking down a busy street, I put my hands in my pocket because nobody's going to get in my pocket while my hands are in there.
Ready for something that's going to infuriate you even more?
No, CJ, I'm buying you a bowl. A bowl.
A bowl for your wallet and your keys.
Are you ready for this? Where do you put your wallet in your pockets? Which pocket?
Back pocket, back left.
Back right.
Okay, you want to know where I put it? Wherever the fuck I want. There's no set pocket.
No.
Where do you put your phone? Where do you put your phone? Where do you put your phone?
My left pocket.
Left pocket.
Whichever pocket's available.
No.
Madness.
You need to have a system,
This
CJ.
is anarchy. This
Madness.
is chaos and madness. There is absolutely
keys go in the
no
right
way.
pocket, phone goes in the left, wallet goes in the back pocket.
My keys, my when I say keys, it's my key fob for my BMW and my one house key. That's it.
You gotta draw the BMW? Really? You just gotta?
Yeah, absolutely, because I fucking drive a BMW. It goes in that pocket that isn't your right pocket,
right,
but it's
that's
above the pocket.
Yeah,
that's where that goes.
Sure.
You know what goes in my right pocket?
Nothing.
That's false. Cash and my AirPods.
Oh, okay.
In my left pocket, you know what's there?
Your phone.
My phone all the time.
Right.
You know what's in my left rear pocket?
This is a fun game. What's in your pocket? I don't know what's in there.
My lens wipe. That's it. Nothing else. And in my right rear pocket, my wallet. Jesus Christ, CJ. I need you to figure out your life.
The Volterman, right, is $238 retail on the Indiegogo right now. One of them, just one of them is $139 on the Indiegogo right now. You're saving 41% by doing this.
Nope.
This is ridiculous. I go with Josh. I give it a -18.
How negative can I go?
Whatever. We use the same scale every week, so it's okay.
-1,000.
That's about as not about it as you can.
Terrible idea. Terrible. My wallet is awesome. It's got Spider-Man on it. It looks kind of professional.
Your wallet makes a noise.
Are you ready for this?
It doesn't make a noise.
You guys are going to love this. Are you ready? This was 100% funded in one day.
There's a ton of people who don't know how to adult like you.
Like, listen, a Wi-Fi hotspot is not necessary. Wireless charging in your wallet, unnecessary.
So to recap the scores, Josh is a -5. CJ is a -18. I am a negative.
A -5 is as low as I go.
Yeah, this is a terrible, terrible idea.
Like on a scale of 1 to 5, for me, it's a -5.
Right, that we were doing on a scale from 1 to 5. Like we always do. We always do a scale from 1 to 5.
Always.
Yep.
And that's how not about it I am.
Right. That is our nerd degree for this week.
Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you, CJ, for being able to come onto the show.
So glad to be here.
Congratulations on the Gwen Stacy baby. I know someone else wanted to say congratulations as well. So real quick.
No, don't. Fucking goddamn it.
I miss Bane so much.
Hi, Bane. How are you?
I heard the fire was rising in your pants, CJ.
Oh, dude.
In his loins.
Oh.
You have a young child, a little spawn of the Melon clan, I hear.
That's right, Bane. Yep, that's accurate.
I wanted to give you some advice, CJ, for the second child that you have born into this world.
Yes.
First of all, CJ, as soon as you can, teach her how to break bats. It will come up later in life. She will be able to make the Melon clan great again. With her ability to break bats. Also, CJ.
Yes, Bane.
As soon as she can walk, I highly recommend you throw her into a deep dark pit. Wait until she's about 8 years old before she can climb out. She will be strong, much unlike you, CJ.
Well, I at least appreciate
Once he
you.
is arisen from that pit, you will not be in control, CJ.
Oh, Bane, thank you so much for all the fatherly advice.
That's fantastic.
So that's our show. If you want to wish CJ congratulations on his Gwen Stacy baby, or even give him some advice, you absolutely can find us at Facebook and Twitter at That Kind of Nerd. You can also share your thoughts by calling us at 484-373-4119. So if there's a show that or a movie you want us to cast again, or if you wanted to just talk a little bit about your thoughts on Spider-Man Homecoming, we welcome the opinions. Or if you can't adult and you need this wallet and you don't agree with our negative scores, please let us know. So thank you very much for making us your walk around the neighborhood, your swinging through the city, or your drive to work, and we will see you next week.
If you love comics and sci-fi and technology, television, video games, and fantasy, well, take a listen to our show. I'm sure you'll see there's many points where we can agree. Like that Martha as a plot point was just too absurd, and Apple versus Android is a case to be heard, and that Josh Trank's new Fantastic Four was a turd. Well, welcome to the club, 'cause you are that kind of nerd.
It's so weird to hear someone else intro this show, by the way. Can I just say how weird that is to me? I asked a question, goes, ooh, tough one. I don't know what the answer is to that. How about we listen to Ed Sheeran's latest song? I was like, no, thanks. He goes, thank God. No one wants to listen to that. Can I help you with something else? Just up anything. I'm listening.
I need you to pause for a second because I spilled whiskey.
Oh, God.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. I'm just trying to help where I can.